Hey gang, welcome back. Today's goal in this project is simply to prime the ceilings. We textured it. It looks great. Got a real nice finish. It's going to be very similar to what's already on the walls. So let me show you our paint setup here. I paint out of a 5-gallon bucket. I don't use those trays. We're just using a gallon of paint, but if you had more, you obviously dump it in there. Then you just use the grid to stir it. Got a good roller, extension pole, and Jordan's gonna be cutting in around the edges with the brush. You just put a little in there, dip, tap, tap, and you're ready to go. Now this is kind of a trash brush. We'll show you a little bit about, we're not really cutting in 2 colors, we're just making sure we have paint in the corners, so this brush is fine. So let's get to it. With this method, you never have to bend over, right? You got a pole and the bucket, so you're not bending over into a tray.
You're not on a sketchy ladder.
I don't need a ladder.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, that's gonna look nice with ceiling white on it. And then I'm gonna get right up to the crown, and then Jordan's gonna go behind me with a brush.
And why is it okay that we're painting the crown right there?
Because it gets trim color afterwards. And there's a few spots where I think it was stained originally, and you can see where it's coming through. So this method's gonna help us to cover all that.
Sure. We actually have our color right there on the wall, don't we?
Yes, it's the one on the right, I believe.
All right, cool. Let's get it done.
Hey, you just saw the ceiling, looks great with a coat of primer. So we'll come back tomorrow and put our ceiling finish on it. But before we start that, you notice I got my bags on, so let's go in here and we'll show you our next project. So in this bathroom, there's double lavatories, but there's only one ground fault on the right side. Modern code would require another one over here, and the owners would like one over here. And the other thing they would like is for this medicine cabinet to have one shelf in the middle instead of the 2 dividing it into thirds. It's just not tall enough for their needs. So we're gonna remove the medicine cabinet to rebuild this part, and also we're gonna see if there's enough room back here to get our wire here for the receptacle.
Gotta have the electric toothbrushes.
Yep. So these hinges will just snap off. Now, in seeing how this was attached, I think it's nailed through here into the studs. So I just use these rare earth magnets. Yeah. You see that? So I got a nail right there. I can see the head of it. And there's probably one over here. Yep, there it is. I don't know if there's any in the face frame. Okay, there's a nail there, but that could be attaching the face frame to the casework. But regardless, we have to remove the face frame to cut these. I don't want to dig them out and ruin this wood right here. I'm just gonna cut this right here. So when we take this off, we don't peel back the paint or the drywall paper. Top seems to be coming off really nice. There we go. Now I can get it back here. There we go.
Nice.
And that was the goal, to get it off in one piece. So let's see what happened. I didn't quite cut through all the caulk on the bottom, and that's what happens. But we can fix that. That's what we do. We fix stuff, right?
Yep.
All the time.
Sometimes when you're fixing stuff, you break stuff, and then you gotta fix the stuff you were fixing.
But I didn't want to break that. That was...
Looks good.
So let's get the buzz saw and cut these nails. One. Love this thing. Maybe we'll find that stack of $100 bills
Yeah.
we've been looking for. And so this cabinet is only 3 3/8 deep, and this is 4, right? 3.5 inch stud and 1/2 inch drywall. So we actually have room back here to run the wire. So what I'll do is I'm going to run it down this side, which is see this corner? It's the same detail back here as another corner. So I'm going to put it on this side because the wire will be more protected than it would be over here. In other words, maybe they're going to hang a picture right here, but they're not going to ever drive a nail that close in the corner.
Sure.
So
Good thinking.
we'll drill a hole through here, and we're open all the way up. In other words, there's not a block here, and we'll be able to put a plug right there. So why don't we grab our electrical boxes? Well, we got the buzz saw out, and we'll cut in all the boxes that we have to.
Okay.
And then tomorrow we just run wires.
Cool.
All right. First step is I'm going to come over to this existing receptacle. I'm going to measure from the corner to the mounting screw. I'm going to duplicate that over here. Okay, that mark is the center of the device. The device being the ground fault receptacle, which is also the center of the box. And that's 8 1/8 above the splash. I'll duplicate that here. That was a lot higher than I thought. 8 1/8. And I think we talked about this before, but one of my pet peeves is I wish box manufacturers would put a center mark on their boxes. So I'll just line up the center mark with this line, the center of that, or I'll just eyeball that. I'm going to put it the other way so I can actually see it. All right, come over. Doesn't have to be perfectly level. You've got some play. And then mark there, 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 and on the bottom. I'm just going to connect this. I'm going to use our buzz saw to cut it out. We'll put that in there. Then when you turn these screws, that wing flips up. It hits this stop. See that?
Mm-hmm.
And then as you tighten the screw, it draws the wing on the back side of the drywall. That's a single gang old work box. And we're just going to put it in there for now. Just like that.
Cool.
And so gravity caused that wing to fall, and now it's stuck. No problem. Just turn it the other way. Come right out. See?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm gonna leave that in there. Now we're gonna run the wires for all our electrical on this project. We have a ground fault over here, and we're gonna add a receptacle on this side that is protected by that ground fault. We have access to our top plates through here. I'm just going to drill a hole back in this corner to avoid any nails. Now we're going to go outside and turn this circuit off, and we're going to see what the rating is on the circuit breaker. That'll tell us what size wire we need to run. Now this is circuit 15A, not a 15 amp circuit, so gotta remember that. And then these are both single gang old work boxes with the ears that grab behind the drywall, but notice the depth. I'm going to use this smaller one, which is 16 cubic inch capacity on this side, because I have a single cable and one receptacle. And I'm just going to add this deeper one on this side because we'll have two cables and a ground fault. So let's go out to the storage room and turn off this one, and we'll turn off the bedroom while we're at it.
Sweet.
They're both 15 amp. So we turn the circuit off, and we're going to pull this out of here. I already took the screws out. Oh man. So I kind of forgot that back in the day, they would use this ground fault to protect the other bathrooms. So I wasn't expecting there to be two cables in here, in other words. So this is old school with the pigtails coming off the ground fault. Okay, this is your load side, and this should say line there. Can you see it says line right there?
Yep.
So line is like your input. This is 120 volts coming in to your line side. Anything that's connected to the load side is protected by this ground fault. So once we saw that there was a incoming circuit and then feeding another circuit, we thought we could just go into the attic and tie into this one, which is ground fault protected. This side is ground fault protected. Tie into that one in the attic and come down over here. But we've already been up there. There was an addition over here. There's a ton of wires. We're just gonna stick to our original plan and fish a wire to this box. Because I gotta come over here anyway in the attic to fish this side, so I might as well just, while I'm over there, do this side.
Sure.
So I use this, I keep this in my bag for many things. One of them is I can push it in here. All right, now I know my stud is on this side. This is one of the things I use it for. I'm gonna use just a plain hacksaw blade. If you don't have a reciprocating saw or left yours at home like I did, and I'm gonna cut on the pull stroke. You can slide the blade between the box and the wall. All right, the box is out of the wall. Now I'll go in the attic. I'll drill a hole in the top plates of this wall. Fish a wire down. It'll be easy to stick your hand in there, pull it out, and we'll come over here, run it down this wall.
Cool. Alrighty guys, so Dad is up in the attic right now and you can hear him drilling. You can hear him drilling the hole in the top plate, and the attic entrance was super close, so he only had to walk about 20 feet over here, and he's just gonna be looking for these two top plates for these little walls right here to indicate where he needs to drill. He can find those pretty easily, and he's gonna be dropping the wire down the hole that he's drilling right now, and I'm just gonna go ahead and be able to reach my hand in that hole and grab it and pull it through. And here it is. Boom. Yep. So we're gonna give about like a foot of excess just to work with, so we're not stressing over not having enough. Using staples to secure the Romex to make sure that when people are up there, they don't trip over it. That's what that hammering is right now. So we got one done, super easy. Okay. And now I'm gonna go through the little hole that we drilled. Reach my hand in the box. Grab the wire. Foot of excess, just about. Boom.
Jordan asked me how I was driving those staples without a hammer, so I just used my clients, or linesmen, whatever you call them. And I didn't want to drag a hammer way back in the attic. They work great for driving a staple in a pinch. So I've seen old school electricians, this is way back, they could almost wire a whole house with these. So that's their hammer. It's also their wire, their stripper to watch this, to sheathe the cable.
Oh man.
Remove the sheathing on the cable. Boom, done. And then, don't recommend it, but they would also use them to strip the wire.
I mean, I'm sure that's just a feel thing. You could probably do that. Yeah.
And of course, cut it to length. So you do a whole lot with those. Get yourself a nice pair of clients. All right, this old work box is just a little taller than the old Bakelite box we took out. So I'm just gonna trim this. We're fine on the width, it's just the height. just find it helpful to really break the little tab and release those. I'm going to straighten these out. Okay, what we're going to do, we're going to put our line side on the top right of the box. On a new job, lots of electricians, they'll do that to every box, so they know that's their incoming 120 volts. And we're going to do it here just so I know which is which, in case I lose my tape. That little black piece of tape I put on the line side, and then the two on the upper right are going to be the load side. All right, that one's in.
Fought with it a little bit.
Yeah, it can be a little frustrating to get that sheathing of all three cables through those clamps, but we did it. Okay, I'm about to go up in the attic. I got my dust mask. So we're gonna do the same thing. Got a new receptacle right here. The stud is right here. So I wanna be about 24 inches off of this outside wall. I'm gonna drill through the top plates. Send that wire down. Hopefully there's no blocking. We're gonna come up and over, come out here and feed this new receptacle for the TV. And then from here, we're gonna go back up. And this is where we're getting our 120 volts from. All right, on this one, we're gonna show you a different method. We're gonna leave the box in the wall. In these old bake-like boxes, there's two knockouts in the top, two in the bottom. This cable comes in the upper right knockout, so I'm gonna just knock out the upper left. It's that easy. And I'm gonna go in the attic. I'm gonna drill a hole through the top plate of this stud bay. I'm gonna drop a string in that wall from upstairs in the attic. I like to use the pulling line. It's electrician's pull string. They call it peppermint string also, obviously, because it's...
Looks like a candy cane.
Looks like a candy cane. And there's 500 feet in here. We used to work out of boxes, had 5,000 feet of blue and white. So we're gonna drop this down inside the wall. We'll put a nut on there or something as a weight. This fish tape's gonna go in there. The knockout, we just busted out. And then we're gonna spin the fish tape. And this hook's gonna flap around inside the cavity and it's gonna snag this wire. And it's gonna wrap around. And then what I'm gonna try to do, you could do it two ways. It's gonna go like that. I can either try to pull the fish tape up into the attic, or what's easier is pulling the string into the box. Then we use the string to pull our wire. It can be hard though to pull this out of that hole because this will get caught on the top of the box. So we may have to fight it a little bit, but it will be easier, I think, than changing that box out. So let's give it a try.
All right.
So we're just gonna spin this. When I get the string, and you're trying to snag it, right? We're going fishing. So I got that and that. Should be all I need.
Did you already drill your hole?
No, so let's see how far. From the top plate, the stud is at 6 feet, so I can be anywhere in here. I'll just go for 64, that way I'm in the middle of the bay. Hey gang, so this is box number 3. We got the fish tape stuck. Sometimes it's gonna happen if you do enough of these. So we had to cut a hole here. There are 4 wires coming into this box. 2 14-2s and 2 14-3s. So this probably got stuck on one of the wires. I'm just gonna trace it up. Okay, I feel it, yep. And it would not come off, would it?
Nope. You don't want to pull too hard
Nope.
because then you're damaging electrical.
There we go. So, cut it off.
You think I could see the wires up there?
Sure.
Oh yeah.
And I drilled my new hole way over here to try to get away from that, but the fish tape, they have a mind of their own. So what this is going to allow us to do, we're going to pull these staples. Here's my string. We're going to pull these staples. They're right here, the studs right here. So what that's going to allow us to do is to change this box. We're going to change it to a 3-gang box. What we have is a 3-way switch for the light and a single pole switch for the fan. And we want to add a dimmer for the new can lights, which would really overcrowd this box. So having to put in a 3-gang is really the better way to go. We were going to try to combine these two into a stacked switch. You can get a stacked switch with a 3-way on it, but you can see all the cables, the wires in there already. Adding one more and a big fat dimmer on this side would really crowd this box. So we'll take it out and put in a 3-gang. And we'll patch this, you'll never know we were here.
Cool.
All right. After we got the fish tape unstuck, we decided to put in a 3-gang box just to give us more room. We've got 5 cables, a big dimmer, and then the fan, and a 3-way light switch. So each of these are labeled cans. This is our 3-way. 2 travelers go to the far 3-way switch. This 14.3 is for the fan light. And this is our power. Power coming in, power going out. So we're going to install the box and feed all 5 of these into the box. 120 volts right here in my left hand coming into the first knockout. I'm just trying to think which one goes where. The light's going to be first, so I think I'll put the 3-way here. Those 2 in the first one. And then these 2 in the middle one. Let's try that. So for instance, I would want to put the circuit for the light in this one if that switch was going to be on the right side. Does that make sense? I want the wire to come into the box behind the device it's going to be connected to.
Yeah.
So we got our 3-gang old work box roughed in. We got the power hooked up on these 2, so they have whatever down feeds from here. They'll have power tonight. And then we just have to patch this and we'll be good to go. So there's a lot of room in here now for what we have to do. Just seems like every time you do one of these, you hit different obstacles. So this was able to show you really 3 different ways, right?
Yeah.
We left this box, we cut in a single gang and we cut in a 3-gang and had to actually cut open the wall to finish it. But once we're patched, you'll never know we were here like we said, so.
Cool.
Let's clean up and get out of here.
Sure.
All right.
Hey gang, due to some poor planning on Dad and I's part, we actually don't have an outro for this video at the actual project house, so we're having to do one after the holiday chaos has come to an end. We've got a lot of extra footage. We're gonna actually make this part 1 of this electrical series for this specific renovation, and we're gonna throw up a part 2 for the electrical where we go in the attic. We do a lot of stuff involving the recessed lights that we put up. You guys are gonna love to see those, so make sure you check out part 2. This is gonna be part 1. And if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you like, give it a thumbs up, comment down below if you learned something new or what you would have done differently, and share it with somebody you know. Maybe they want to do a master bedroom renovation and they can get some inspiration from this. But again, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.